I'm Sarah Joy Corpus from BS EdMat 2B. Did you know humor not only bet money when they gamble?
Humans not only bet money when they gamble, but also bet their lives by engaging the unhealthy activities such as smoke, drinking, using drugs, and exceeding the speed limit when driving. Many people don't care about the risks involved in these activities since they do not understand the concept of probability.
The only two sure things are death and access.
As a general concept can be defined as the chance of an event occurring. Many people are familiar with probability from observing or playing games of chance such as card games, slot machines, or lotteries. In addition to being used in games of chance, probability theory is used in the fields of insurance, investment, weather forecasting, and various other areas. Sample spaces and probability. The theory of probability grew out of the study of various games of chance using coins, dice, and cards. The process such as flipping a coin, rolling a die, or drawing a card from a deck are called probability experiment. A probability experiment is a chance process that leads to well-defined result called outcome. Outcome is the result of single trial of probability experiment. A trial means flipping a coin once, rolling one die once. When a coin toss, there are two possible outcomes, head or tail. Always remember to exclude the possibility of the coin landing on its edge. Sample space is a set of all positive outcomes of the probability experiment. For example, if we're going to toss a one coin, the sample space are head and tail. If we're going to roll a die, we have sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If we're going to answer true or false question, the sample space are true and false. And if we're going to toss two coins, it is important to realize that when two coins are tossed, there are four possible outcomes. As you can see, we have four possible outcomes here. The head to head, tail tail, head tail, and tail head. Another example. Since each die can landed in 6 different ways and two dice are rolled, the example space can be represented by a rectangular array. It is important to know that not all sample spaces were found by observation and reasoning. However, another way to find all possible outcomes of probability experiment is to use tree diagram. What if we're going to find the sample space for the gender of the children if a family has 3 children? Let's use B for boy, and G for girl. Since there are two possibilities for the first child, draw two branches from my starting point and label one B and the other G. Then, if the first if the first child is a boy, there are two possibilities for the second child, boy or girl. So, draw two branches from B and label one B and the other G. Do the same if the first child is a girl. Follow the same procedure for the third child. An outcome was defined previously as the result of single trial of probability experiment. In many problems, one must find the probability of two or more outcomes. For this reason, it is necessary to distinguish between an outcome and an event. An event consists of a set of outcomes of probability experiment. An event can be one outcome or more than one outcome. For example, if a die is rolled and a 6 shown, this result is called an outcome. Since it is a result of single trial, an event with one outcome is called simple event. There are three basic interpretations of probability. The first one is classical probability. Classical probability uses sample spaces to determine the numerical probability that an event will happen. It also assumes that all outcomes in the sample space are equal. When a single die rolled, each outcome has the same probability of occurring. Since there are 6 outcomes, each outcomes each outcome has a probability of 1/6. We use this formula for classical probability. The probability of any event E is number of outcomes in E all over total number of outcomes in the sample space. Probabilities can be expressed as fractions, decimals, or where appropriate percentage. If someone asks you what is the probability of getting ahead when a coin is tossed, typical response can be 1/2, 0.5, or 50%. When it comes to rounding rules or probabilities, probabilities should be expressed as reduced fraction or rounded to 2 or 3 decimal places. When the probability of an event is extremely small decimal, it is permissible to round to decimal to the first non-zero digit after the point. Find the probability of getting a red ace when it is drawn and random from an ordinary deck of cards. Since there are 52 cards and there are two red aces, namely the aces of heart and the ace of diamonds. Let's use the formula for classical probability. The probability of red ace is the number of outcome and all over total number of outcomes in the sample space. And now we have the probability of red is equal to 2 all over 52, and the answer for the probability of red ace is 1 all over 26. In probability theory, it is important to understand the meaning of the word and or, because and means at the same time, while or is has a two meaning.